The views and opinions of this broadcast do not reflect the views and opinions of Armed Media, New Productions and its affiliates. Enjoy the show.
Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Sports Insider. And I don't know what's going on this freaking camera over here. I guess I got some emojis or something. That's freaking crazy, man. I'm going to have to try and get that off of there. Anyways, let's see if we can get this off. Anyway, how's everybody doing tonight? My name is Glenn Spillman, and you are listening to Sports Insider on Armed Radio, presently, right now, live. We are being aired in 60 countries. 60 freaking countries. So we got two cameras on us. We got one over here that's got these freaking weird-ass emojis on it. And we got Periscope TV. Everybody on Periscope TV, what's up? How you doing? We got Brian Moore that is watching. And we got Casey in Austin, Texas on Periscope. And, well, guess what? If anyone knows how to get these stupid emojis off of the Facebook, I would love to freaking know. Because I do not know how to get those off. But anyway, oh, Brian says he can't hear me, so... Alright, well, it is, everything, is it freaking Gremlin season or something, man? Are you watching, are you seeing the Facebook? Is that what you're seeing? Well, ladies and gentlemen, she needs to put a cork in her freaking mouth. Alright, so hey, before this show, we had Johnny Blender, and he's got whiskey, cars, and cigars, and, his wife, Lynn Gibson's got a show called The Southern Horror Queen. So for anybody that wants to go to TuneIn, download TuneIn, search Arm Radio, and you will hear a plethora of shows. You've got Cosmopolitans with Lauren Damrich. You've got Dad Max with TC and Lydia Elliott's. I haven't seen that show yet. I don't know what that is. Facebook say they can't hear me. I don't know what's up with that. Anyway, we've got Rock Talk with Amy Chafalo. We got Sports Insider with myself. And we got Straight Talk with Matt Keesley. And Talk Time with Val. And they have Pot Talk with... Jimmy Bell and company, and I'll tell you what, man, if you guys want to have some fun on a show, go check out freaking Pot Talk. And if you guys are easily offended, still, go freaking check them out, because it's a freaking cool show. And you've got Night Talk with Joe Rocks. A lot of shows on there, so go check them out, support. If you guys want to watch the show, you could watch it on Facebook Live, and you could watch it on Periscope TV, and if you guys missed any of the shows, go to Spreaker.com. We're on there. You can go to my Facebook page, SportsInsiderOnline.com. You could also go to iHeartRadio and check us out there. So, hey, I don't know, at one point in time, Richard Blunk, if you are going to be watching this show later, I'm purposely wearing this Oklahoma Sooners jersey, because this knucklehead went to Nebraska, and anyone that knows anything about OU and Nebraska, we were rivals, and Richard... if I said Brian, I'm sorry. I'm thinking of Brian Moore. I'm thinking of Richard Blunk. Anyway, Richard, this is for you, brother. Boomer Sooner, baby. Drink it out of my OU coffee cup. Hope everybody had a good weekend and a profitable weekend. If anyone looked at any of the parlays, I was freaking dead on. Some idiot bet against me on the Piston game. It went into overtime and I won. But they fessed up. They got a hold of me on Twitter and they're going to pay me through PayPal. So I don't remember how much it was. I really don't. But we got Johnny Blender, gentleman I was just talking about earlier, that's tuning in over on Facebook Live. As I mentioned before, Johnny Blender's got a show, Whiskey, Cars, and Cigars. But I'll tell you what, I think he needs to change the name of the show. Because he drinks moonshine on the show. It is apple pie moonshine. And how about this, Johnny? I got a new name for you, brother. Moonshine, Cars, and Cigars, baby. There you go, man. Boomer Sooner. And, well, I don't know if he and the donuts that he has on there. I got to get a hold of this company in New York and try some of these frickin' donuts, dude. Got to try some of these donuts. I turned Facebook off. So, Brian, if you could hear me, give me a thumbs up. And I think it was those little frickin' gremlin things. They got these little emojis that are on there, like these Christmas things. I think it was these, like, freaking rabid crackhead elves or something like that. Johnny Blender says he likes it. Yeah, I just coined the show. So Jimmy Bell is going to be changing the show to Moonshine, Cars, and Cigars. Yeah, man. I've got to try me some of that moonshine, though, Johnny. You let me know where I could buy some, and I'll get me some. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, enough of the pleasantries. Let's get into some sports, shall we? The title of the show is Brian Moore taking over, and Legends of the Cage taking over the MMA world by storm. So we, here in a bit on the show, we're going to be talking about Legends of the Cage. We're going to be talking about Brian Moore. Brian Moore was on the show last Wednesday. I don't know if you guys could hear him on the phone or not, but we're working on that. Because I want to get him back on the show. And we're going to have an entire show with Brian Moore and Legends of the Cage. And everyone that watches this show knows that I'm a filmmaker, amongst other things in the entertainment industry. And paired up with Mr. Moore here, and we are going to be doing a MMA documentary. It's called Legends of the Cage After the Final Bell. And now we already have locked in, locked, still delivered, so far 47 fighters that are going to allow us to interview them. And so we're going to be doing that. I'm not going to name all 47. I'm going to give you some snippets. You know, it's kind of like foreplay. I'm going to give you a little bit of. Be interviewing in our pilot is Gary Goodridge. Gary Goodridge is going to be coming all the way from Ontario, Canada, not Ontario, California, Ontario, Canada. And we're going to blow up the freaking scene. Some of the other notables, we've got Gary Goodridge, Mark Coleman, Dan Severn, Butterbean, Gary Iron Bear Myers, Nick Nutter, Marcus Davis, Andre Roberts, Anthony Parash, John Fitch, just to name a few. Like I said, we got 47 of these guys locked in. And we've got Goldberg that we're going to be interviewing as well. Now, I know Goldberg was A, a football player, B, a WWF before they became the WWE star. He was influenced highly by the MMA. So we're going to be interviewing him as well. He's already locked in. So for those of you who want to support and be a part of this film, I implore you, that is the 50-cent word for the day, I implore you to go to Indiegogo.com and search. You can either search my name, Glenn Spillman, or better yet, search Legends of the Cage After the Final Bell. And you can go to our Facebook page, and we're gonna be giving portions of the proceeds to every pilot that we shoot, and the documentary and whatnot, portions of the proceeds is going to be going towards a charity for anti-bullying. We haven't picked one. We're probably going to do a few of them around the country. We're going to be doing anti-bullying because these people that like to bully people needs to be put a stop. My daughter got suspended, when was it? 2 years ago. I've taught my daughter how to fight MMA and whatnot and other forms since she was about 2 years old. She's 16 now. Well, she was getting picked on by a boy at school. Pick on, and he was bullying somebody else. And she said, hey man, knock it off, stop it. And the guy's like, what are you going to do about it? My daughter did the right thing. She walked away. What did this guy do? He followed her. He was taunting her, until he put his hands on my daughter. And that quick, my daughter turned around, punched the dude right in his face, and took care of the situation, and essentially got suspended from school. Well, I told the principal he was the aggressor. He put his hands on her. And I'll tell you what, you can suspend her for the day, but guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to take her to the movies. I'm going to take her to lunch. I'm going to take her to Tahoe. I'm going to take her wherever she wants to go because she did nothing wrong. She was trying to walk away. See, that's the thing about bullies, ladies and gentlemen, male or female. Bullies are a bunch of, excuse my language, pussies because they will do it with a crowd, usually a crowd of people around them. Or they're bigger than another person, or they'll, however they choose to pick on somebody. But they're wuss, and this needs to stop in high schools, elementary schools, college, workplace, everywhere. Not only does it happen face to face, but it also happens, there's a thing called cyberbullying. There have been documented cases where people have committed suicide because they were cyberbullied. So a portion of this, of the film that we're doing, and we're going to try and raise as much money as we can. I would love to raise 6 figures because we are going to give to these charities so they could A, bring awareness to people, B, just whatever we need to do to put it in place. And I haven't mentioned it to Brian Moore yet, but Brian, I think that we should get Goodrich here while he's in town and have him talk somewhere like at a high school or whatnot. Hashtag stand up, hashtag LOTC MMA, Legends of the Cage MMA. Well, let's get into a little bit of news. Now, I always give you guys the first game that's going on. Well, we got 1 minute and 7 seconds left in the fourth quarter of the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Indiana Pacers. They are playing in Indiana. Now, anyone that watches basketball knows that the last minute in the freaking game could last 10 minutes because teams are trying to I'm stuttering right now, ladies and gentlemen, because I just got a text, breaking news, from one of our correspondents. There is a Penn State shooting happening right now as we speak. And I read that, and I couldn't believe my freaking eyes. And they're giving me news right now. It's a developing story. 2 people have died in the shooting. Penn State, and there's some stuff going on. Now, what the is wrong with people? Seriously, that right there. I mean, that's kind of a form of bullying too, but freaking killing people with a gun. And I can't believe that there's people out there, cowards, that will hide behind a gun and just go around shooting people. I mean, it didn't start with, but it blew up that's probably a freaking bad choice of words, but it got bigger with Columbine. And you know why those guys did it at Columbine? I am not justifying why they did it. Not at freaking all. They are doing it because they were bullied. You see the freaking snowball effect here? And as Brian Moore just said, our hearts go out to Penn State victims and their families. Hashtag LOTC, Legends of the Cage. And we here at Sports Insider and Arms Radio, I'm sure I could speak for them, because if not, they would interrupt me and tell me to shut up. Our hearts go out to everybody that is a victim, the families, the friends, the people that were around there. Because now, they have to live in fear, at least for the next week, month, or whatever. They're going to lock that place down, and they're going to live in fear. Because idiots like to go out and do this kind of stuff. It just pisses me off. They were talking about people avoid the Student Union Center building and food services area. Wow. Freaking nuts. Freaking crazy. Anyway, you know what, man? Seriously. There's not supposed to be dead air on the radio, but I'm about to give dead air because I would like to give a moment of silence for the victims that are involved. So if you could just do that with me, please. A moment of silence. Okay. And it kind of, I mean, I'm getting chills going up my back right now. It kind of sucks to go on and do a news show. But you know what? In life, you know, when it comes to news, whether it's the sports or whether it's regular, I mean, we just got to keep going. We are not going to let people like this idiot, and we're not going to give them any more airtime. Our hearts go out to these people, and we're not going to give them satisfaction. And the satisfaction. 15 seconds left. Oklahoma City Thunder 98, Indiana 95. Now, some other stories going on. We're going to pop over to the NFL. For those of you that are Green Bay Packers fans. Now, I know there are a lot of people just kind of lighten the mood a little bit. There are a lot of people in the Bay Area that are Packer fans. You know, that's their favorite team, the Packers. Read between the lines. Just to lighten the freaking mood, everybody. So Mike McCarthy is telling people, don't get your hopes up because Aaron Rodgers is coming back, and but do not get false confidence because he's back. Well, that kind of sucks to say that as a coach. Because your guy, you know, your gunslinger, is coming in, and he wants to win. He wants to win out. Nothing wrong with that. And then have your coach say, nah, don't get any false confidence now. No. If I was the freaking coach, I'd be like, you know what? Get your freaking confidence up, brother. Because we're going to rock this freaking thing. So here's a quote from McCarthy. And I quote. We got Zoltan Zorzi online. What's up, brother? So Mike McCarthy says, I think our football has done an excellent job. He probably should have put team after that. So one or two things either happened. Either he directly quoted that, or the person that took the quote didn't put team. And here it goes. I think our football has done an excellent job finding different ways to win. We're not going to go to Carolina with a bunch of false confidence. We understand the impact that Aaron Rodgers makes for our football team, and hell, the impact that he'd make for anybody's football team. He's a great player. He's an impact player. We're in the position that we're in. We're 7-6. We clearly understand what's on the line here. Well, let me break down this freaking bullcrap statement for you. That is a statement Well, he does. The team is yellow and green, so Mike McCarthy might have a little yellow running up and down his back. I'm sorry to say that, brother, but you don't say false hopes. No, you go in there and say, you know what? Yeah, man, we're going in there. We have the confidence because Aaron Rodgers is our man. We have the confidence. We're going to go in there. We're going to wipe the freaking floor with them. I would rather him say that than to be like, yeah, let's not raise any level of confidence. Now, you just kind of freaking blew all the air out of the freaking room, man. I mean, all the air is out of the balloon. It's gone. It's bye-bye now. It's see you later. And you just deflated everyone's freaking confidence. So thanks a lot, Mr. McCarthy. I'm not a Packer fan, so anyway, I like 2 football teams. Well, 3 now. I like 2 football teams. I like, obviously, the Oakland Raiders. And I also like the Dallas Cowboys. And the reason why I like the Dallas Cowboys, because the jersey I'm wearing, Oklahoma Sooners, a lot of the Oklahoma Sooners have filtered through Dallas at one point in time. And, you know, I mean, Murray. I don't know. I still don't know why they got rid of Murray, but you know what? So I like the Cowboys for that reason. Brian Moore says on our Facebook feed, our documentary is going to be great, but my Cincinnati Bengals sucked. Well, Brian Moore says that his football team sucked. That is past tense. That word sucked is past tense. No, brother. They still suck. Like half the freaking population in the Bay Area. I mean, they suck. You're right. They're 5-8. But there could be some redemption. Now, I did go to a opening day when I lived in outside of Indiana. I used to live in a town called Columbus, and so I would go to the Cincinnati Bengals game because, other than Indianapolis Colts, that was the closest one. So I would go to their opening freaking day. That was always a fun day. But you've got 3 more games, Mr. Brian Moore. You've got the Vikings. You're going to be at the Vikings. Yeah, you're going to lose that game. You're going to play at home versus the Lions. That's kind of a toss-up. And the Ravens could be a toss-up. So theoretically, Mr. Moore, you guys could win 2 out of 3 games. Theoretically. You can still finish the season with a losing record, but at least you're not 0-13 like the freaking Cleveland Browns. Talk about suck. Do I smell conspiracy theory here? Let's see, last year, what? How many games did they win? Yeah, whatever. This year, 0-13. Last year, they got the first pick. And they got a bunch of other niceties that came along with trades and whatnot. But this year, they're sucking again, 0-13. So what does that mean? That means they're going to get the first pick again. That means other teams are going to be like, hey, man, we want the first pick from you. We're going to give you this next year. Or we'll give you this year or whatever. They're going to chomp at the bit. They don't have a quarterback. They don't. They would do better with me at quarterback. Now, I played quarterback for a little bit. But at 39 years old, I can't be that bad. Oakland Raiders, they're not doing much better than the freaking Bengals. They're 6-7. But I'll tell you what, when everyone always asks, Oakland Raiders going to be leaving, I will still kind of vote and go for the Raiders a little bit when they go to Vegas and be pissed off at them. But I'm switching over, man, and I'm going to be an LA Rams guy. I'm going to go for that freaking LA Rams. They're 9-4. We are on a Boston station, so we've got the New England Patriots at 10-3. Give a little shout out to them. I mean, Tom Brady is 40 years old, and the guy's having a freaking high caliber season. He's doing things, that goes to show you that age is nothing but a freaking number, man. Age is seriously nothing but a number. So I'm going to give you, and Johnny Blender was bragging on me in my handicap on my football picks because I'm pretty damn good at picking freaking games. It's real difficult towards the end of the season to pick games, i.e., the Denver Broncos are going into Indianapolis. The Denver Broncos are 4-9. They will not gain anything by winning. Who cares? The Indianapolis Colts are 3-10. They will not gain anything by winning. So that I would not freaking bet on. Okay? You got the Bears going into the Lions. Now, this is something because Chicago has heart. Chicago fans and the football team have a freaking ego. They will go in there just to beat the Lions to screw up their chance of going into the playoffs. Chargers are 7-6. I don't know how that freaking happened. Going into the Chiefs 7-6. They got the Chargers winning, but the Chiefs are tough. I would say pick the Chiefs. The Chiefs are at home, but they are the underdog at home, but only by 1 point. Cowboys going into the Raiders. Well, Cowboys are favored by 3. Jerry and company coming into the black hole. Raiders and Raider fans are batshite crazy. If you think that the Raiders are going to let the Cowgirls come in and freaking beat them, you got another thing coming. The Raiders sort of have something to win here. They could, if they win out, they could be 9-7, which is still good enough to get in the playoffs. And I say, if you can get in the playoffs, you can get in the freaking, I almost said World Series. You can get into the freaking Super Bowl. Dolphins, Bills. I picked the Bills. There's this thing that I do. It's called the Eliminator Challenge. There's 17 weeks of football. I have picked the correct team to win in the past 14 weeks. I've been right for 14 weeks in a row. I picked the Bills last week. They won, but they barely won. Here's a good game to bet on. Baltimore Ravens going into Cleveland Browns. Baltimore is favored by 7. Take that. They will barely skip over 7, but take that as one of your parlays. Bengals Vikings. Now here's the thing though. If you want to freaking lift up your skirt and grab your balls and just try and freaking be like, this is a tough bet. This is for you, Brian Moore. Your Cincinnati Bengals are going in to Minnesota, okay? Minnesota's 10-3. Minnesota could lose the game and not even freaking care. So, Brian, if you're a betting man, bet something small, $20, whatever. Take the Bengals plus the 10.5 points. Because I'm telling you, the Vikings aren't going to be as down your throat as you think they are. They're 10-3. They have nothing to prove. They might even play the second string people. Jets Saints, New Orleans by 15. They're at home. They're 9-4. That might be something I might touch on Friday. Eagles Giants. The Eagles are going to slaughter the Giants. That 7.5 points, double that. So take that as your second. All right. Cardinals Redskins, Packers Panthers, Texans Jaguars, Jacksonville by 11. Jacksonville 9-4, but they, have a lot of players that are in kind of, a bit of a tiff right now because they got in the fight with the Seahawks Cats. Rams, Seahawks, speaking of the Seahawks. Seahawks are favored 2.5. I would still go for the Rams. I'm not a definite yet. Patriots, Steelers. That, ladies and gentlemen. And then you've got the San Francisco 49ers. The Titans are coming in. I don't know how I'm going to touch that game. The game, everybody in Boston, man, I want you to play the House of Pain song, Jump Around. I was listening to that this morning at the gym, man. House of Pain. Play that song. Because you guys are going into freaking the Steel Curtain. You guys are going into Heinz Field in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Okay? Pittsburgh is 11-2. Patriots are 10-3. This, ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be 44 degrees, and I believe right now it's going to be raining. So, guess what's going to happen? Cassandra, I know you've been quiet. I've been talking a lot. Ladies and gentlemen, Cassandra Spears is on the line here. She's been, well, Merry Christmas. Or what does King Henry VIII used to say? He used to say Happy Christmas. I mean, not like I was there or anything. But anyway, I don't even know what I was going to say. Let me get my bearings back. Okay, so you got Patriots, you got Smash Mouth football. Oh, yeah, that's what I was going to ask you. Okay, it's going to be raining, Casey. Now, ladies and gentlemen, Casey is a fan. She is not a sports journalist or anything like that, so she may or may not. Brian, I ask you this question. I ask everybody watching on Periscope. If it is raining, how do you think that football game is going to go? What do you think is going to happen? Okay, that's not the answer. Right? Okay, it's 44 degrees. It's going to be 44 degrees, so it's not going to be snowing. So this is the answer I was looking for, ladies and gentlemen. Boys and girls, dogs and cats. There's going to be handoff, 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 handoff. You are not going to see that many attempts to throw the ball. Why? Because the football's slippery. Fumble, overthrow, interception, all that. Now, the person with the bigger balls here is Tom Brady. The person with the bigger balls is freaking Belichick. And then the Grandmaster AC/DC, who's got the biggest balls of them all, freaking Robert Kraft, he will throw the football. Now, I'm not saying a lot. I'm just saying if anyone's going to do it, Kraft is going to be the freaking guy to tell Belichick's going to freaking run the show. He's a Jedi Master. That is going to be the best game. It's 1:25 Pacific time. It's going to be the best game of the freaking day. I'm telling you that right now. Now, ladies and gentlemen, those are your little Betty bets for your Wednesday game. Oklahoma City beat Indiana 100-95. Now, before we get into Legends of the Cage and Brian Moore, I want to talk about another bully. And I'm saying that in my opinion, he is a bully. Because I've seen him in action. I've heard with my own ears. So I'm not making this stuff up. LeVar Ball. If you watch him in an interview, he bullies the interview. If you watch him with his kids, he's a bully towards his kids. If you watched him the other day, I believe it was New York Knicks. Spike Lee goes to every freaking New York Knicks game, and he and Spike Lee got into a little bit, and LeVar Ball was freaking mouthing off. And his kids, you could see, were utterly embarrassed. But I have heard LeVar Ball say this about his son, Lonzo. I don't care how good he plays. He could drop 50 points. This is when he was at UCLA. He could drop 50 points. But if UCLA wins, it's his fault. I mean, loses, excuse me. If UCLA loses, it's his fault. If they lose by 50 or if they lose by 1. He says to his son, it's your fault. What do you think that does to you mentally? So, Casey, you've got a PhD. In your analysis, and I know you've done some studying today on LeVar Ball. And in your analysis of what you've studied, do you think my statement's correct or am I off base here? Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and for real quick, for those of you watching the show, I've got headphones on. You should always be on tune in and on Arms Radio listening to the shows, and you can hear what she's saying. But here it's kind of funny. Look, you got LeVar Ball, You got Lonzo Ball. You got LiAngelo Ball. I actually like that name, LiAngelo. And you got LaMelo. I like that name too. Do you think that maybe LaMelo is named after Carmelo Anthony? LeVar Ball, even Sir Charles Barkley says that LeVar Ball is everything, is what's wrong with, NBA, that type of dad. He causes issues everywhere he goes. He argues with people everywhere he goes. And now he owns a company. Yeah, he's riding the freaking money. Yeah, I mean he's riding the money more than gay men ride the baloney pony. I'm telling you, man. So LeVar Ball has got a brand, Big Baller Brands, and it started 1 year ago, 2016. It's in Chino Hills, California. Anyone that knows anything about Chino Hills, there's a prison in Chino. And so it's clothing and footwear. I'm not going to get too much into it. I'm just giving you a little brief history. Now, there was a pop-up. A pop-up is where you can just basically go up and quickly pop up something. They do it with restaurants, clothing, everything like that. There was actually, there's a bunch of people booing. There's actually a dog that went next to the pop-up and took a dump. We've got Guillermo Laguna on Facebook. What's up, brother? Guillermo says, he made his children millionaires and set them up for the rest of their lives. Seems like a good dad to me. Well, this is coming from Guillermo. And I like Guillermo, and I respect Guillermo, other than the fact that he's a Seattle freaking Mariners fan. Now, Guillermo. Let me see. Should I put my daughter in prostitution and make her a millionaire? Am I a good dad? If I put... No, I would not. People would want to, that's what he's doing to his sons. He's prostituting them out. They are mentally distraught over their dad's actions. Again, he causes trouble wherever he goes. I'm not saying... I never said he was a bad dad. I never freaking said that. I said that he's a pain in the ass, but I never said he was a bad dad. He causes problems. Fact. Basketball. Well, you got the two Bs. Yeah, I think, yeah, he was like, Guillermo said prostitution's illegal. No, it's not. 1 hour that way is the Bunny Ranch. 1 hour that way is the Bunny Ranch. It's legal. Ask freaking Khloe Kardashian's ex-husband, ex-Laker. Yeah, it's not illegal, brother. It's in most places, not in freaking Nevada. It's not. But what I'm saying is facts. I mean, he's arrogant. Yeah, he set them up, but he also lost them millions of dollars. Made, lost. Now, the shoe, the pop-up, was an absolute disaster. I'm gonna go through this real quick because we got to get to the king of the cage. Shoes go for. Now, Michael Rappaport, he clowns Big Baller Brand. Rappaport is an actor and whatnot. I'm trying to find his quote here. Well, go to his freaking Twitter. He's got a video on it. And the Ball father went in the garden, was disrespecting people left and right. Actually, it's kind of cool. His teeth are yellow on top, purple on the bottom. I actually like that. That is actually pretty freaking cool. So, Brian Moore, are you still on Facebook Live? If so, let me know, brother. So last thing, Casey, what do you think? Yeah, granted, Do you make your kids millionaires by making them... Look at the Kardashians. Do you think their kids are freaking happy? Do you think freaking Khloe's happy? Do you think freaking... I used to watch the show like every freaking day, and I've seen it, and I know some of it's drama and whatnot, but those people are freaking miserable, man. I would rather live like I live and be happy than... And I've had money. I've had tons of money. I used to live like a rock star, and I was freaking miserable. Miserable. The woman I was with, I was like... Oh, yeah. Yep. Oh, yeah. Yep. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Okay, last thing. These tennis shoes, the Z02, is going for $495. I've seen a ton of reviews on these shoes, and I'm not even going to tell you where they're manufactured. It's a freaking joke. Joke. The rest of the show, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be talking and conversing via Facebook with Brian Moore, owner of Legends of the Cage. And as I mentioned earlier in the show, I teamed up with Brian. Oh, crap, man. It seems maybe 5-6 months ago, I think. But we talked back and forth, and we ended up signing a contract with each other, and I'm going to be doing a documentary on the legends of the MMA, and I mentioned some of the names earlier, and he's got, this is absolutely blowing up. We're going to be interviewing their fighters. We're going to be spending a day with them. We're going to be doing the ins, outs, ups, and downs. We're going to be talking to these guys and getting the real story. Now, there's the company out there that's got 3 letters. One, it begins with a U, and then there's a letter in the middle, and it ends with a C. And they do interviews with guys like this, but they cut out, oh, he said this, that was a little bit negative. Nope, we're not going to have that. We're not going to say that. In this freaking film, and these interviews that I'm going to be doing with these guys, I'm not going to cut anything out. Nothing. These guys, I am their platform. Now, granted, he's on shows everywhere else, but my particular platform, I do not freaking regulate these guys in what they... I don't tell them what to say. I don't say, make it nice. Now, we're going to talk about CTE. We're going to talk about brain injuries. We're going to talk about the life, the things these guys do after the final bell, after the final ding, ding, ding of their last freaking fight of their career. We're going to be talking about, all of this stuff. And we're going to be doing our pilot show here, and we've got a cat working on some TV deals going on. I mentioned his name earlier, and if you're watching, Richard, at any point in time, Boomer Sooner, baby, I wore this for you. Here in Sacramento, and and Brian is gonna be flying in from Ohio, and Gary Goodrich is gonna be flying in from Ontario, Canada, and then Brian's got several other people. Yes or no, Brian? I don't want to say anything. Yes or no? Do I mention the Sacramento-based gym that you called and got? So just give me a yes or no, and if not, and I won't mention it. But if it's yes, I'll tell you all about it. So this film, it's going to be awesome. And in Legends of the Cage, you need to go to this guy's website, legendsofthecage.com. Can't get any freaking simpler than that. Legendsofthecage.com. There's events that they've got going on that talks about the legends. And sponsors the documentary, and it'll just all the things, dive into Legends of the Cage, because they are going to blow up. And I will let him, when he gets on the show, I will let him talk to you and tell you everything that he's got going on. But go to legendsofthecage.com and check it out. And again, part of the proceeds of the entire project that we're doing, we are going to be donating to a charity that is anti-bullying. Brian Moore says, we spoke with Team Alpha Male, and it is possibly in the works with them. Everyone reach out to Uriah, which is Uriah Faber, and Team Alpha Male, and tell them we want it there. So, this is going to be big, and the main reason that I wanted to do this documentary, other than being a filmmaker, and I just love making film, I like the subject matter. There are too many times in a sport to where the pioneers come into the sport, put that sport on their shoulders, and then start that sport, and then what are they? They're brushed off. Bye-bye. See you later. They're brushed underneath the carpet. And then you get people that have these, big conglomerate companies. You don't, unless you're a big MMA fan and you've followed it from the get-go. Kind of like, do you know who Egan or Ensign, Inoue, Inu, I can't even pronounce that, Brian, I apologize if I butchered that. Tim Sylvia, Sean Doherty, Sean Salmon, Shannon Rich, Scott Ferrazzo, Pat Smith, Stephen Bonner, all these cats. The Legends of the Cage, what I'm doing, number one, is I'm paying respect to these guys and giving them the respect that they deserve. As Brian Moore just said, these guys are the heart and soul of MMA. Without these guys, there would not be an MMA. I remember watching the film Bloodsport with Jean-Claude Van Damme. And I have been, now when I was in the military, I've been all over the world, and I have actually been to fights like that. And I've seen fights like that. Now that's not the MMA, I'm just telling you the kind of where these roots grew, developed, and when the MMA started, there was no, it's a bit barbaric on some things according to people. They wanted to ban it because there was really no time limits, no rules. I mean, you couldn't bite people, that's about it. And then it's grown. But is there, kind of like, there needs to be, in my opinion, and Brian I know will agree with me, there needs to be some sort of fund that goes into, wherever, and if anyone's going to do it, I guarantee you a company like Bellator would do something like this. To where, hey man, we're going to have a fund for you guys, so when you guys retire and everything like that, if there's anything that happens down the road that you need medical attention for, hey man, we're going to take care of that for you. Or we're going to have you some kind of insurance. Okay? That's why I personally, and I've said this, go back a year ago, and I said this, if the UFC keeps going the way that it's going, Bellator is doing nothing but going up. Up, 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 up. Bellator is going to overtake the UFC. Number one, they pay their fighters better. Number two, they respect their fighters more. And number three, how many people are going from the UFC over to Bellator? All because of the way that they're treated. Brian Moore just says, every sport honors their legends. 13-year-old kids know Babe Ruth. Absolutely. Wayne Gretzky and others, the fans will remember these guys as well. That's what we're doing with this film, Legends of the Cage. We are paying homage and respect to these guys. We are going to show the world and tell the world who these guys are. And they are going to be immortalized forever on the silver screen so anybody 10, 15, 20 years from now can go and see the freaking Legends of the Cage After the Final Bell documentary. And this isn't the only one that we're doing. We're doing others on top of that. And and there's other things. Brian Moore in Legends of the Cage in 2018, just a few weeks from now, they're going to blow up. They are taking the MMA world by storm. These legends need to be talked about. These legends don't need to be forgotten. I mean, my culture, the Native Americans, the reason why I know certain stories is because there are elders that tell a story, and then they tell us stories and then when I get older, then I tell the young people stories. I tell my kids stories. I tell stories to people, and that's how it originated. There was no movies back then, so all that stuff, and then now we got all this stuff. Brian Moore says announcements coming soon, and you will hear about it first on Sports Insider, breaking news. And the Legends League just added 2 more names, Brian Moore said. So, ladies and gentlemen, go again to this website, legendsofthecage.com. Follow Brian Moore on Facebook and say, hey man, this is so-and-so. We heard about you on Sports Insider. We would like to know more about Legends of the Cage. He's doing basically a museum. And going to be having all this stuff in there. And you guys, when it comes up and it opens up, who do you think's going to be there? Myself, Sports Insider. We're going to be doing a live show the day that freaking place opens. And a lot of people that do documentaries, they fluff it up. Because they want to give what they think that the audience wants. Myself and Brian Moore, we are going to give the public what we want them to know. Meaning, these guys need to tell their freaking story. And when Gary Goodridge, and he's the first cat that we're going to talk with and interview, he's going to tell you his story, man. And it's going to be hard-hitting, and it's going to be truthful 100%. I'm not going to fluff it up. I'm not going to make it look pretty. I'm not going to add niceties. I'm not going to take things away to make anybody look good. And there was, a wise person said to me, they go, well, you don't want to say too much stuff because you don't want to upset potential sponsors. Well, let me tell you something. I don't kiss anybody's ass. I don't. I never have my entire life. Now, sponsor A over here don't want to sponsor us in the future because they got the little panties in a bunch. You got the feelings hurt because of what Fighter X over here said. That was a fact. I'm sorry. Because one sponsor goes away, another one's going to come. I am not going to that's why I left LA. Because I wasn't going to have Warner Brothers or United Artists or anybody else. I give them a script and they, no, we don't want this, we don't want that. No, you can't say that. No. I make my own films. Why? Because I make them the way I want to. And it's not because I'm arrogant. It's because I want to tell a story. I want to tell these guys stories. And this is going to be unlike any documentary that you've ever seen on this sport. Because if you go to my website, Seller13films.com, Seller spelled with a C, you will see one of my mottos is, we make thought-provoking film. We make films that are hard-hitting and true. And that's what this documentary is with Brian Moore and Legends of the Cage. We're going to tell it like it is. These guys need a voice. I'm their voice. Brian's their voice. All the other MMA individuals and companies and radio shows that Brian Moore is involved with is their voice. Arms Radio, Boston, Massachusetts, will be their voice. Why? Because they're going to be on the freaking show. I want to give a shout out to Bellator. I'm encouraging you guys to tune into Bellator because they're just popping up, man. Their fights are quality. Every one of their fights are quality, 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 quality. You know? Saturday, January 20th, Spike TV, Inglewood, California, man. You've got Lima versus McDonald. Go check out Bellator.spike.com. Check out the fights that are going on, man. And go support these cats. One thing I like about Bellator, they go to these venues that is not Las Vegas. I'm not saying don't go to Las Vegas and don't do anything like that, but I like that they go to these smaller venues. I mean, heck, they were at a college just a month or two ago. And they've got a ton of stuff coming up. They've got Bellator 191, McDonald versus Liger. You got Lima versus McDonald's on 192. January next year, you got Larkin versus Gonzalez. Nelson versus Mitrione, February 16th. February 16th, 16th. Oh, man. No, that wasn't your anniversary. It's the freaking Valentine's Day that's your anniversary. All right. So, yeah, man, go check out Bellator. We've got about 2 minutes left. And I just want to thank everybody. And like I always do, because I really truly mean this, I want to thank everybody for tuning on Facebook, on Periscope TV, everyone that's tweeting and Facebooking me and asking questions and making comments. Even you, Guillermo, I appreciate you coming on. I love you, brother. And I still have the freaking Robinson Cano doll that you sent me. I still freaking have it. And I just want to let everybody know, we are on every single Wednesday and every single Friday at 6 p.m. Pacific time. And you guys could go to our website, seller13films.com, and you can ask us questions. You can say, hey, we want to talk about this subject. My email's on there. And if you guys want to get a hold of me, Glenn at sportsinsideronline.com, for anything that he's doing, I will get you all the information you want, because I'm not going to give out his number unless he gives me permission to, but I'll give you his email and everything like that. You want to support him, you want to support the film, more power to you. I appreciate everybody that comes on the show. I will see you guys Friday, 6 p.m. I love you. Peace out, Boston.